Do you know Mayorkas?
I know him.
How would you assess him?
I used to respect him. Under President Obama, I got a Presidential Rank Award under President Obama because I oversaw the removal of, well over 1 million aliens during that 3-year period. Mayorkas actually accompanied me on operations in New York City, targeting criminal aliens and illegal aliens, both. Jay Johnson approved a family operation because a lot of families were coming across during the Obama administration. And I told Jay Johnson, look, 9 out of 10 of these families are going to be ordered removed. Are we going to remove them? He said, absolutely. Jay Johnson stood by that. Alejandro Mayorkas went on operation with us. He backed me up on it a lot. The main thing we disagreed on is the transgender policy, where you wanted special treatment for transgenders in ICE detention. I was ordered to sign that policy, and that's
what kind of special treatment? Making
sure they're identified as being a transgender, they're protected in our facilities, and separated and get medical attention, whether it's hormone therapy or whatever it was. And
wait, so he wanted the U.S. government to pay for hormone therapy?
Yeah. And we got in a huge argument over that, and I was ordered to sign the memo, and that's where we had a falling out. But
do you have any? Why would he want? I mean, first of all, how many transsexual illegal aliens are there?
You'd be surprised how many we run across, and they just they want a certain protections for them in our facilities. Well, Alejandro Mayorkas went on operation with me. He shook hands of officers who were enforcing the immigration law. I remember we went to New York City on a huge operation, arrested a lot of illegal aliens. And when he was nominated to be secretary, I thought, okay, we're in the middle of this crisis again, right? He knows how we stopped it. We stopped it by building detention facilities, including family residential centers, the so-called cages, right? He knew how we stopped it. We stopped by building more detention facilities, detaining people, making them have a hearing, because if you're in detention, you have a hearing within like 35 days. 9 out of 10 lost. We put them in an airplane, send them home, then board numbers tanked. So I'm thinking, okay, he knows how to fix it. He might be able to do this job. He got into the job. He did a complete 180. I don't recognize him anymore. He's about not enforcing the law. One of his first instructions to ICE is that being in the country illegally on its own is not enough for you to go make an arrest. You got to wait till they're convicted of a serious criminal violation.
How can a federal administrator ignore federal law? Isn't that unconstitutional? Why can't he be arrested for that?
Well, it's illegal. I mean, the Fifth Circuit judge, federal judge in the Fifth Circuit said not only are they ignoring the law, they're actually violating the law. Again, that's when we need to hold these people accountable in the incoming administration. I believe they violated the law. And
the fact that Congress never did anything about that is really telling.
Well, that's, they went through the impeachment proceedings, and I said at the time that I think we had 5 or 6 Republican congressmen that didn't vote for impeachment. I couldn't believe it. And I thought they lost the right to be a congressman at that point. I mean, if they can impeach President Trump for making a phone call, you can't impeach Alejandro Mayorkas for what he did to this border, the biggest national security vulnerability this nation's ever seen. Look, me and Christopher Wray, I'm not a friend of his. I don't really respect the man much, but he agrees with me that the border has become the biggest vulnerability this nation's ever seen. He sees more red flags than ever before, and they continue with the open border, even to this day after the election. Now they're going to sell border wall material that we're going to need in day one we're getting in there. The illegal behavior, the treasonous behavior from this administration has not stopped.
What do you think happened? It's so interesting. I'm glad I asked you if you knew him. I didn't know that you did. But since you do, what do you think happened to Mayorkas?
I'm as an agent since 1984. I think we study people. That's what we do. Either he fooled me under the Obama administration that he actually believed in enforcement. Either I was hoodwinked and just thought he wasn't behind enforcement, or he always felt that way, and just he played the role under the Obama administration. Then when he came back, he actually did what he always truly believed in: open borders. I know the NGOs, and he has a very close relationship. He worked with some NGOs before he came back. So I don't know what happened. All I know is a man who I once respected, I have zero respect to now because of what he's did. Not because of incompetence. This is by design. They knew exactly what they were doing because he's been there before. He knows how we shut it down. He knows how we secure the border. at a high level, not as high as Trump. We secure the border at a pretty good level. He did everything he could to unsecure the border, which is a complete 180.
It's fascinating. There's something, you watch when he talks, there's something strange, well, first of all, he's lying.
He's lying under oath, which is a felony too. If I lied under oath, you don't think they would love to prosecute me for lying under oath.
And they should. You shouldn't be allowed to do that.
He's lied many times. One of the biggest statements he made was, for those who don't immediately qualify for asylum, they'll be immediately removed. Really? You got the lowest numbers of removals in the history of ICE. At the same time, you have historic illegal immigration. So, you're supposed to have a hearing a couple of weeks ago, and I asked a couple of congressmen to ask that question again. Well, there's a lot of anti-Trump, anti-Homan rhetoric out there that we shouldn't have a mass deportation operation. Do you stand by the statements you made numerous times that if they don't qualify, they need to be removed? Because you can also help send a message to the American people, we're doing this deportation operation. It has to be done, and you said it. Would you say that again? Of course, him and Ray backed out the hearing, never had the hearing, but